The mayor's back.
Hey, Glenn, he's still up there.
Let's go up.
Hey, Ryan, stay put and keep your eyes open.
Let me alone. Let me alone.
Dad, are you all right? Dad, you had us worried. You left no word.
I left word with Alice. Alice, didn't you give him my message?
Mayor Cameron, you didn't say anything to me.
Oh, didn't I? I was sure I had.
Where you been all this time, Mayor?
I'm on our to Cape Powers, down from Washington. I'm here to keep this spaceship business in check. Don't you think you picked a very poor time to absent yourself from office?
Washington is not running this town. I am.
Dad, Mr. Powers is only trying to help.
Are you siding against your father?
Sorry, Dad, but you don't look well.
I feel fine.
You do look kind of pale, Mayor Cameron.
I'm not sure you're welcome in this town anymore, Dr. Kettering.
Now, hold on, Cameron. If I have to push my weight around, I will. Riverdale's not a republic. It's part of the USA. One telephone call from me and this town goes under martial law. Now, let's not make terrors. All of you, get out!
Mr. Powers, please wait. Dad, there is something the matter. What is it?
I said get out! And keep away from that door! Wait a minute, what's going on here?
What is that on the back of your neck, Mayor?
There's nothing on my neck.
I say there is. Do you mind if I take a look at it?
Don't go near him.
Why don't you give the gun to Glenn? He's your son. Surely you trust him. All we want to do is help you.
Dad? May I have the gun?
What's that on his neck?
What did you find out?
Well, I want to wait and hear what the doctor has to say before I draw any conclusions.
You're so tired. You've got to get some rest.
I'm all right.
Well, what was it?
Well, we can't say yet. We'll know in a moment. Oh, it's all right, Doctor. Go ahead.
None of you should feel any sense of guilt about the mayor's death because of the shooting.
What do you mean?
He would have died anyway.
It works like this, Powers. That thing on the back of the mayor's neck had two piercing instruments. They attached themselves to the central nervous system at the base of the neck. Now, we don't quite know how it worked, but when the thing was crushed and the instruments withdrawn, they secreted something in the form of an acid. And this acid destroyed the mayor's nervous system. So without the shooting, death would have ensued in, well, what would you say, Doctor?
24 to 48 hours. Just enough time for the acid to do its work.
You mean if there are any more of these things around, and they get on somebody's back, the person will live only so long as the thing is left untouched?
That's it.
Because once this thing attaches itself to the victim's back, well, the victim isn't human anymore.
Are you going to tell the others about this?
Well, I have to tell them something. This is to be kept strictly confidential, Doctor. Will you make your report out that way?
I understand. If you need me, feel free to call upon me, will you?
I will, thank you, Doctor. All right, we're sitting on a powder keg. Now, I want you to listen closely to everything I have to say and not repeat a word to anyone.
Notify all the men we're on a 24-hour duty. If anybody wants me, I'll be out at the cone.
This is a piece we got off the mayor. Reflex action like a snake. Cut a snake in half and the two pieces go off in different directions.
How long can it do that?
Oh, I say, till the cellular structure begins to break down, I suppose.
Sickening.
Your hands are like ice. Why don't you get some rest? I can manage here alone. I'd feel less guilty if you did.
About the parasites. Do you think there are many more of them?
Why don't you let me worry about that? Can't you get some rest?
I can't. I want to help.
All right, then, let's get back to work. In feeding, the mouth parts rupture the cells, convey the food to the stomach by a pumping action.
It's breaking open the skin! Don't hit it, but somebody hit it!
Hello?
Kettering? Why not? I've got an idea about this cone out here. I don't know why it didn't occur to me before. Yes, can you get out here right away?
Yeah, okay, I'll be right over. Well, let's come up with something. We'll have to pick up the others and go right over.
It didn't take Kettering long to round up the others. Once again, we were on the way to the restricted area. Weiler had come up with a new angle. Of course, we all hoped that it was a solution to the mystery of the spaceship. As we entered the woods, we discovered that the roadblock signs had been removed from the highway, and there wasn't a guard on duty. At least we didn't see one.
What is it?
Look.
Are you thinking the same thing I am?
Hello! Hello!
Most modern rockets, those that are in the planning stage today, come in sections. That is to say, you have one section for control room and living quarters. Then you have two more fuel sections. As the fuel sections become needless, empty of fuel, they're cast off. Jettisoned. Simply dead weight.
This cone's a fuel section, is that it? We've been wasting our time. The control section's someplace else. Maybe miles away.
Not miles away. Simply out of space. Floating perpetually.
Well, we know this is not an American project. This cone is a useless piece of junk. We're wasting our time here. So, it's come down to the parasites. What about it, Kettering?
Well, we can't handle it single-handed.
I didn't ask it. My job here is to help keep a damper on this thing. We don't want a nationwide panic in our hands. We got to keep this thing down to Russell. Now, just how much of a threat are they?
Well, some of this is fact and some of it is scientific hunch.
Give us a rundown and never mind pulling the punches.
All right. They're parasites. That means they need something or someone to live on. On their own, most parasites would die.
Well, they tried animals. Why didn't they settle on animals?
That's the rub. They wanted more than just life. They tried animals through ignorance. They didn't understand earthly forms. They didn't know which animal, including man, was best suited for this environment. So they experimented. Trial and error.
You mean they can think? They chose the mayor. That shows they can think.
These things take over a man's mind? He becomes a robot? A machine taking orders?
Except for one thing. It may not show on the outside. A victim may act normally.
Well, they haven't moved in on us in force yet. If we can find out where they're nesting, we may get the jump on them. There's another part to this ship, and we've got to find it. Glenn, this is your town. Draw up a map. Outline search zones. I'll call the sheriff and have him get his men organized. Can't reach the sheriff. No matter. This calls for the state militia. I'll wire the governor.
What about the folks in town? They'll know something's up if you call in the militia.
You have a local radio station, don't you? I'll arrange for the radio station to